Hello everybody, Burnedoutguy here and welcome back to Foundry. Alright, last episode we put together this smashing little paint factory. And we also started to lay out the foundations of our massive production lines to make the robots. This is looking pretty sexy, man. Oh yeah, this is looking good. Very nice, very nice. But near the end we started noticing that we're starting to miss some product, and we need to fix that. That's today's issue. So I did go down and put all the belts down on how I was going to need them, and I'm just missing how to put down the elevators and connecting the rest of the stuff. But I'll get that to that another day. That'll be another day's problem. I didn't want to waste any more resources. I want to kind of get today's episode done before we run out of resources. So anyways, today we're going to get into blast furnaces. So let's go check that out. Also, I started painting a little bit. I think this looks pretty damn nice. Oh yeah. And then the base is going to start looking like this. I think that looks pretty smexy, man. Black and green like that there, the little green highlights. I think it looks great. I still obviously got a bunch of painting still left to do, but I think that was kind of the gist of it all. And then on the inside, you're going to see that the ceiling is all green in there. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, really liking that. And then down here it's just a plain old Jane there. Right now I still haven't done most of the painting and stuff, but this is just like a concept. I think it looks good. I think it looks really good. It's pretty sick. And to show you what I mean, that we're slowly running out of resources, like we got this little bit of xenoferrite left, and then we're gonna have to go start another node. So I figure, well, before we run out, we may as well get into the blast furnaces and also into bigger fracking nodes and all that stuff, and make something more permanent, right? So the goal is we're going to have two setups over here, and you're probably wondering what all these little buildings are. We'll get to that. We're going to have a xenoferrite setup and a techium setup. Now, one of these setups is going to furnish the line on both of these, and then the one on the outside is going to make components, and then we're going to make components. So I think that's going to be the idea. So we have the blast furnaces, and then we have the hot air generators, and then we have the air makers, right? You got your fans, so the air gets pushed into the heaters, and that heats up the air. The air gets thrown into here, and that's how it smelts the ores. We're gonna need three things in order to make all this possible. Very strange though, but we're gonna need three things. One of them is we're gonna need mineral rock. I'm not really 100% sure. Maybe it's like a catalyst or something. That's at a very low amount. We don't need a whole whack of it. Like once I get all these hooked up, I'll show you the exact amounts of what we're actually gonna need, which is fine. Then we're gonna need coked ignium. We've done coked ignium before, where it's just where you take ignium ore and you bake it, and that's all we need. And then you need whatever ore. So either it's the techium ore or the xenoferrite ore. So yeah, so let's get into constructing these things. We'll start at the front here. So I like to use the front where this is. It's like a stairway, so I classify that kind of as the front of the build. All right, so we're gonna click on here, the air blast system. Your air blast system is where you're gonna input your air. So we got a pipe output, another output. All right, so we're gonna have both outputs come from one side. So we're gonna have like slag come out here, and we're gonna have the melted stuff come out here as well. And then in the back, you're gonna put your input, your hot air inputs. There we go. And that's where we're gonna put our two hot air inputs. That's gonna conclude that level. Then we're just gonna keep putting some towers on here. This increases the speed at which you're creating hot air. You see it went up to 200% over here. And then you're going to need 150% hot air consumption. What the hell is that? I have no idea. Anyways, I'm going to put that on the top, upper top. Okay, so this is the front. We're going to want to feed the material through... How do I want to feed the material here? I think we'll do it from the interior side here like this. If we're looking at it, yeah, we'll feed the stuff through the sides. And then what else is there? That's just that it. What's up top here? Flare stack? Oh, that's pretty cool. So this is quite the hell of a monstrosity build here. Just want to make sure that we have everything. Okay. And like I said, I want the outputs to come in the front. And there's little panels here in the front. We'll tell you which one you can which one's going to be which. And then we got the hot air. All right, so I think we should be good here. I think we should be good. So we'll go start construction. That's going to be that one. This one is going to be the same thing, except I'm going to put the items on the left-hand side instead of the right-hand side. There we go. And if we look, we can see that we're going to have both items both on the side here. That means when we bring in the items, well, we can have them separated properly down here and then brought up through the middle. I think that's going to look really nice. All right, so now we're going to go back here and we're going to get these things set up. Okay, so you have an option of using a burner, or we have the option of using power to power this. I'm going to go the power route. It's probably the cheaper way, because in that way we don't have to bring ignium over here to cook it in here. And then we're just going to build this thing up. Now these sections right here is where you're going to be able to put your hot air outputs at. So we're going to go put the output on the second level up here. And then on the very back on the second level, we're going to put the input of the hot air. So that way we're bringing in hot air through there. I think that's about the height of the next one. It might be too low, who knows, but we're about to find out. Start construction. Oh, see, look, it's too high. I can fix that. Stop. Now if we look at it, that looks a lot better. I'm just hoping I left myself enough room here that I didn't screw myself over. It looks pretty tight, honestly. Yeah, I don't think I left my side. I should back these up a little bit. I think I got the spacing out good this time around. Everything looks good. Everything looks like it's gonna line up pretty nicely. So, and I'm leaving myself enough space to put in the pipes. Yeah, I found it was a little too tight there, a little too tight. So we'll get it like this. So both the blast furnace requires a lot of heat. That's why you need the double setup. One of them just isn't enough in order to create the heat that's needed in order to generate for that thing there. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue putting these ones down, and we'll go from here. There we go, everybody. Our massive friggin' buildings are done, and these things are huge. All right, let's go check out what we got going on here. All right, so at the back here, we're generating all of our air. And all that air gets thrown into these things here. These are hot air furnaces. So we can heat up the air. And that hot air is blown into the back here. In these things here. And thrown into there. Now, wherever these little entry things are, there's a screen on the other side here that you can't access. You have to like fly into this little angle part. And drop down. And then you can access them. Then you have to set them up to hot air. So that's what's coming in here is hot air. Why you would have to do this, I don't know, because I don't understand what else that you really could be throwing into this furnace through these tubes to actually smelt stuff, which doesn't make any sense. But yeah, anyways, make sure that you go around and you add these. So this is what it'll look like. You'll come here, you'll add hot air. Very important that you do that, because at one point you're going to be like, why isn't this working? And that's why it's probably not going to be working, because you're not setting up your hot air intake. Okay, so yeah, and all of this you can all power with electricity. You don't have to feed it anything, so that's the bonus part about all of these things. And then now we're going to get into what we need to be feeding these monsters. So in here you can see that I have 2 or 4 elevators going up. This one and this one are going to be for pure xenoferrite that are going to be coming in here, because we need 1 full belt. Then the other 2 can be split up. So one's going to be mineral rock and the other one's going to be coked ignium. We need 640 coked ignium per minute and only 256 mineral rock per minute. So that's fine to have these 2 split up like that, and they'll end up backing up at one point or another, right? And we'll be good. So I'm not too worried about those 2. But we do have to go and make sure that we do get 2 full belts of the raw material. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we come down here and we look at this. This is going to show you like the recipe or whatever, right? Now it's telling us that we're going to get 11,520 liters of molten xenoferrite by 1 batch, right? But if you do the math, I think each one of these things take 120 liters to make like 40 plates or something like that. And if you do the math, it's 96 of these casting things that we're going to need. And that's massive. That's a lot. So the output should be 4 full belts of 120 of 100 of 1280 or whatever it is, right? So that should be the belt there. The output of each one of these is 4 full belts of 1280, if I'm not mistaken. So what we're going to do with these is the one on the outside is going to be just for furnishing our production line of xenoferrite of plates, and that's all it's ever going to do. The second one here is going to be dedicated half to making the first set of components. These ones right here, the machine parts. And then the other half are going to be making these as well, but it's going to be sent over to make the advanced machine parts. And we're going to have a setup of that right here in the middle. So at one point or another, we're going to make a new smelting system for just steel back here and all this good stuff, and we'll try to make it nice and big and do the math properly, so that way we're making a lot of friggin' those things, and then we can send those back out onto there. On this side is going to be something similar. On the outside we'll do these techium, just the techium rods, and that'll just furnish nothing but the production. Then on this side here, we're going to make the electronic components. So 2 of them are going to be made for like wires, and then or something like that. And then 2 of them used to make the components. I don't know. We'll figure it out, because it's kind of weird. You need 1 whole row just for rods, and then, or it might end up needing 3 for rods. I don't know. We'll see, because it's hard to tell. I don't remember the math. You get 2 wire cores, and I'll figure it out later. It's a weird, like a 3-to-1 or something like that. Maybe even a 4-to-1, like making wires or coils to making the things or whatever, or backwards. I could be doing it backwards. Like 1 machine of coils is good to feed 4 of those other ones. I think that's what that is. Can't remember. Anyways, that's enough babbling. We got other shit to do. So when it comes to getting where we're getting our resources, all right. I was really thinking about, well, the one I really want is the one up here. 21 drill points. It might be too many, but I'm really thinking about going to get it because 21 is always better than 17. That's 5 more points into it. And then I can guarantee that I'm going to get all those belts full, right? Then there's another one down here. This one has 17. I can't find anything closer than that that's better than that because like we're dealing with like 10s and 13s. And then the next ignium one would be over here at 17. I can't find anything really better than that. Got a 15 back there, and then all the other ones are like 10s and 12s. And this techium one, I don't know, there was another one too. Was there another one? No, that was the only one. And then we could take this mineral rock here because it's a 17 and it's pretty close. And yeah, so I think that's the plan for that. I did have to go hook up a new xenoferrite thing for us because we emptied out the other one, and I still wanted and needed production to keep going for certain things in order for us to finish this. So I just found another little small node over here, and we're slowly plugging away on that too as well. So I think what we'll do is we'll start off with going to get this xenoferrite one up and running. The one here at 17, and then we will start bringing these materials back, having them lined up. I might do 4 ships bringing materials back just to ensure that we're bringing enough back, because I do have 4 lines to feed, or 2 lines to feed, sorry. So maybe 3 on each side would be good. Maybe we can handle something like that because it is quite a distance to go, right? Quite a distance to fly. When we change that to trains, we'll see how well trains work later on whenever they're available. But yeah, but for now all we can do is fly the stuff over or belt it all, and I think a belt would be pretty crazy, honestly. All right, so let's go attack that xenoferrite down here. Ah, what a beautiful view it is. What a beautiful view. And yes, it is all done. Everything over here at the XenoTech, Xeno whatever, xenoferrite ore. Oh my god, I've been at this for a while. Sorry, everybody. So, what we got going on here is we need to just put the exits, and everything should happen to go into there. You know, all these will get populated. Each one of them has their own belt. And then we'll have 3 go to one and 3 go to the other. So that's pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. Over here we got 60 crushers, all turning in the rubble into ore. So that's what this is all about. I think we should be good. I think we should have a good yeah, look at that. We're keeping up. Even though like this isn't really, they're a little bit backed up, these things, but that's fine. I think we should be okay. So now that this is done, we have to go and do the same thing over with the ignium. So we'll go over the ignium ore. We'll prepare a little place for power and the whole 9 yards. Pretty much exactly like this. And then we're going to be making coked ignium is going to be the only difference between this setup and the other one. So, all right, let's go over there and get that all set up. All right, everybody. Pretty much all the same setup, like I said, is going to be the other one. Got 6 ships that are going to haul our stuff because we're such a far distance away, like 3-point-something kilometers away. We got like a huge distance to go. All right, so we're pretty much all going after 4 floors here. Have them all combined into one. These are all being split up into 4. 4 of these, 10 crushers and 20 smelters in each row. So we're looking at 80 smelters and 40 crushers. And this thing is just pumping out the crushed ignium, so that's good. That's good. We'll always make sure that these things are full by the time that they come back, and then it's loaded really quick, and then they come back really quick. That's kind of like the goal, right? All right, so these ones are all done. I just have to name these, and then we're pretty much all good to go. I did screw up on the original name for this one, so we're gonna have to wait till he empties out and then comes back before he delivers stuff. But yeah, Let's try not to make any more mistakes. Oh, this is looking pretty good so far. The only thing we're missing now is just the mineral rock. And once we get that mineral rock over here, well, we can start setting up the rest of the blast furnace section, which would be the front of it. We'll have to set up 96. Actually, that's 96 each, by the way. So that's like 180 some friggin' thing. Oh man, this is gonna be amazing. Plus, there's these ones over here we haven't even got to yet. Oh yeah, this is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so awesome. All right, so let's get over to the mineral rock one. Since that's the only thing we got left to do, and the mineral rock, oops, is just right here. So we have a lot less distance to travel to compare to all the other ones. Like, look at the distance we have to go to bring this stuff home. So it's a good distance. It's a good distance. All right, so let's get at her. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of hard work, and we now have another infinite setup going on here. We got our mineral rock. All this is going to help us produce gonna redo that. There you go, and just a little hard work, we got all of that done. Mineral rock is ready to go, so all we have to do is go set this back up in the blast furnace area, and we are good to go. Oh, no way. Not out here. I've used all that jet fuel already. Oh my god. There's a Neanderthal. All right, everybody, you ready? I think it's time we start up one of these big bad babes. We're gonna do one of them, and then we'll see exactly how much we're producing, so that way we know how much stuff to make afterwards. Because I think I might have been wrong. I don't think it's 11,000. I think it's only like 5,000 something, but we'll find out, man. We'll find out. All right, so all of that is on. These are all hooked up. So all we should have to do is toss these things in here. Now, I'm only running one of them, even though I'm going to send that up anyways. It doesn't really matter. These are all going to come up here. Yes, I need power up here. That's true. I forgot about power. There you go. Now that it has power, it'll actually start to feed. Now, this is the part that I don't want to miss. I want to make sure that this is all going to go up, and then I want to see how many liters we're going to make here. Okay, I've been noticing something here. All right, so I'm almost full here, but I've been reading the side. So required hot air per minute, 324,000 liters. And then you got the operating stats down here. And it was the amount of hot air that we're actually generating right now is 216. So we're actually one of those things behind. So it should be 3 minimum, not 2. Oh. Yeah, so it looks like we're going to have to do a little bit more constructing. And then to get a little bit more hot air, we're not generating enough. So this won't turn on until then. Interesting. Well, looks like we got a little bit of work to do. All right, so before the sun goes down, my big fix is to add 4 more. So that way it was 2 to that side and 2 to that side, so it makes 3 each in a way. So technically, we only have to add 1 of these, turn 1 of these on, just to see what the batch size is, right? Come over here. That should go up. There we go. The temperature is going up now. And then once that gets the temperature, we'll see it make its batch, and then we'll find out how much the batch is. All right, now we have everything gone in there. Now we're going to find out when it smelts how much liters it's going to get. Okay, so 5260. So the math is really bad. So as far as I was thought it should have been 48, but really it comes out to 43 something, point something. So technically you can get away with 44 of them per batch. But that's not going to get you... Is that going to get you like maybe like 2-3 full belts maybe? Roughly? That's rough. All right. Well, that'll be the next step anyways, is trying to figure out how many of those casting machines we're actually going to need. So I'm going to start with the 48 and then we'll test 48, but we'll go from there. Yeah. All right. So that's what I'm going to call today's episode. That was a lot of work, a lot of things. It might be short in video span, but that's like almost an entire day of doing crap in order to get this up and running. So yeah, not too bad though. I like it. Looks good. Looks pretty damn good. And in the next episode we'll hook this up and we'll try to start working on our next little component section of the whole bus. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the video, everybody. Like, subscribe, peace, take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.